Coming up next on News Live at 6, Stretchy Cities, a presentation on local governance and how it will reshape Syracuse's future urban landscape.
And Silent Strength, what SU's 17th annual Human Rights Film Festival wants you to take away.
And we're buzzing into Bee Month, what Syracuse is doing to improve sustainability on campus. All that and more. Citrus TV News starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Stretchy Cities is a presentation about the changing urban landscape in Syracuse, and it's taking place right now. The event will include a discussion on the future of I-81. Good evening, I'm Conor Wight.
And I'm Gabrielle Caracciolo. In coordination with the Maxwell School and our School of Architecture, the symposium brings local officials, experts, and the SU community together for a conversation about local city governments. I-81 will feature as the future of the highway in Syracuse is still up in the air. The New York State Department of Transportation is looking into how the project will impact the local economy.
Tonight's event goes on until 7 p.m. tonight in Slocum Hall Auditorium.
And students who don't have a ticket to Saturday's football game may be in luck. That's because the Student Association is giving away 1,000 free football tickets to the matchup against Holy Cross. Ticket distribution starts Friday on the quad and will be available until they run out. All you need to have with you is to pick up your tickets is your student ID. Student Association will also be giving away 20 tickets on the SA Instagram page. And tomorrow, a former aide to President Barack Obama will speak on SU's campus. Ben Rhodes is the former Deputy National Security Advisor and currently hosts a podcast called Pod Save the World. He is one of several speakers that will be part of the forum called Common Ground, Cultural Threads That Connect Us. The forum will last all day on Friday.
It's National Bee Month, and yes, I mean the insect, and Syracuse University is celebrating in a special way this year. SU joined 70 other schools as a certified affiliate of the Bee Campus USA program. Citrus TV reporter Katie Lane spoke with SU Sustainability Coordinator to learn what it takes to be a member of Bee Campus USA.
Syracuse is joining more than 150 other cities and campuses across the country to improve native pollinator habitats and the university's ecosystem. SU's Sustainability Coordinator Megan Lowe says that Bee Campus USA organizes and strengthens educational programs for the benefit of pollinators.
Bee Campus isn't just about the bees, it's about the plants and the pollinators and making sure that they have a home right here on our campus.
SU is creating a home for pollinators by growing native plant species, avoiding the use of pesticides, and planting pollinator gardens like Pete's Giving Garden on South Campus. Lowe also shared 1 out of every 3 bites of the food we eat exists thanks to pollinator species. Without them, some of your favorite foods like pumpkins or carrots wouldn't be here.
We need to make sure that we have, pollinators around. We wouldn't have flowers if it weren't for pollinators. We wouldn't have those tomatoes growing over there on the vine if it weren't for tomatoes. We wouldn't have all these lovely squash behind me growing on the vine either. They're incredibly important. They're a keystone species in everyone's ecosystem around the world.
The Bee Campus USA Committee is looking for students to come up with more ideas that will help save the bees and pollinators of all kinds. Katie Lane, Citrus TV News.
SU Sustainability Management plans to publish a webpage to raise awareness about the struggles pollinators face.
Today marks the beginning of the 17th annual SU Human Rights Film Festival. This festival will be part of the theme of Silence in Syracuse's 2019 symposium. Thursdays and Friday screenings will be held in the Hergenham Auditorium in Newhouse, while Saturday's films will be in the Schaefer Art Building. The festival is free and open to the public. Syracuse grad student Katie Quartaro has been named an SU Tillman Scholar for 2019. She is one of 60 students in the country to receive the scholarship that promotes leadership and service in diverse communities. The award also honors military veterans, as Quartaro served in the United States Marine Corps before her honorable discharge in 2016. Quartaro is thrilled for the opportunity to represent Syracuse and to work toward her goal of improving national security in the country.
On campus, SU Health and Wellness Services are holding a panel discussion tonight to talk about healthy relationships. The Sex in the Dark event will allow students to ask experts about numerous topics, including hookup culture, consent, and sexually transmitted infections. Health Services will be tabling prior to the event to teach students about campus resources. The panel begins at 7:30 p.m. tonight in Grant Auditorium. And Orange After Dark has a busy weekend of events for Syracuse. Tonight, OAD is sponsoring a trip to Dave & Buster's. Buses will leave for the arcade at 10:30 from College Place and Goldstein Student Center. Tickets for that are just $3. Orange After Dark will also host a free trivia tonight in Goldstein Student Center tomorrow and a mystery night at Syracuse's Science and Technology Museum on Saturday. Now, those all sound like great events, but I have to wonder what the weather's going to be like. It's been up and down. It was raining this morning. Had to break out the rain jacket, and I think it's raining now.
Yeah, so let's turn it over to our weather anchor, Anthony Dabbundo, is in studio to tell us what we can expect. Anthony?
Well, you know the saying 4 seasons in a day? And sometimes Syracuse gets there, and while they didn't quite get to 4, I'd say that today probably featured fall, spring, and summer. If you woke up this morning, you probably needed a raincoat. It was pretty chilly, pretty rainy this morning, and then by midday the sun was out, the sun was shining, and yet here we are right now, our current weather, 68 degrees and cloudy. Rain also starting to come down as I speak right now. You can expect potential rain to be on and off for most of the night as another cold front pushes through the region. It's just been an odd day out there, and as we take a look at the current temperatures around the region, 67 in Rochester, 67 in Penyon, 68 in Ithaca, pretty uniformly in the high 60s. But the whole region has seen such swings. We got as high as 78 today, and yet here we are now at 68 in Syracuse. So around the entire region, it's been an odd day, and that can continue into the rest of tonight. But 72 degrees is the forecast for tomorrow. No doubt about the forecast tomorrow. It's going to be an absolutely beautiful day. Sun and nothing but sun. Don't have to worry about the raincoat. Don't have to worry about anything except probably shorts and maybe even flip-flops. I'd recommend those for tomorrow, 72 degrees and low humidity. So if you don't have class or you only have one class in the morning, take a chance to get outside and enjoy tomorrow's weather. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. I'll have more on my full weather forecast coming up later in the show.
Thanks, Anthony. Onondaga County is holding a series of town hall events focusing on preventing lead poisoning. About 90% of homes in Syracuse were built before the federal government bans the use of lead paint. Syracuse Deputy Mayor Sharon Owens says that although the situation has improved, there is still a ways to go.
It's still unacceptable to us as a community because we know the housing, we know the lives that we want our children, women, and men to live in.
Today was the second in a 3-part series focusing on making caretakers aware of the resources available to them. The final town hall, Building a Lead-Safe Community, will take place on Tuesday, October 1st.
Governor Cuomo is accepting a recommendation from the New York State Health Commissioner to include menthol and mint in the banned flavors of e-cigarettes. Cuomo called for an emergency public health meeting to discuss the new ban, as a survey revealed a 35% increase in adolescents preferring menthol or mint-flavored e-cigarettes. And the governor also announcing today that SUNY schools will allow people in the Bahamas displaced by Hurricane Dorian to pay in-state tuition levels here in New York. According to the State University of New York website, the average in-state tuition for students for this school year is $7,000. That's compared to just under $17,000 for students coming from outside the state.
A hiker has been rescued after falling 30 feet into Taganic Falls State Park just outside of Ithaca. Firefighters say the hiker was trying to get into a prohibited area Wednesday morning when they fell. Authorities say the hiker's injuries are non-life-threatening. Firefighters urge people to stay on marked trails and to not go into prohibited areas. New York State Police want the public's help to figure out who damaged headstones in the Herkheimer Cemetery, which is just east of Utica. Maintenance workers reported the damage last week. According to police, whatever happened to the headstones caused about $10,000 worth of damages. Authorities urge anyone with tips to contact New York State Police using the phone number you can see on your screen.
Upstate New York staple Wegmans is opening its 100th store nationwide. The Rochester-based grocery chain will enter its 7th state, North Carolina, with a new supermarket store that will feature the Burger Bar as well as other classic Wegmans attractions. The chain has plans to open 5 more stores in that state. The Wegmans chain has 46 locations in New York, with 8 of those stores sitting right here in Syracuse.
Coming up, new details from the whistleblower complaint over Trump's alleged quid pro quo agreement with the Ukrainian government, how the president is responding to calls for impeachment.
And new numbers are out on the U.S. economy. We'll have a full update. CitrusTV News will be right back.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the Citrus TV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
The whistleblower complaint is now declassified. The document, reconstructed through fragments of White House notes, reveals information about a phone call between President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Trump is cited in the call as, quote, prodding Zelensky to investigate Democratic political rival Joe Biden.
White House officials relocated the original transcript to a separate computer system as an alleged effort to hide the more damaging information the whistleblower included. And House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is accusing the White House of covering up Trump's alleged deal with Ukraine. Pelosi did not disclose any information regarding a timeline for an impeachment inquiry.
So far, 218 House Democrats and 1 independent support an impeachment inquiry, with 16 either undecided or against. Democratic congressmen from New York that are not supporting an inquiry at this time are the 22nd District's Anthony Brindisi and the 11th District's Max Rose. So far, 0 Republicans are supporting the inquiry.
The 219 supporters of an inquiry represents a simple majority in the House. However, it is important to note that just because they support the investigation does not mean that they will vote to impeach in the future. The U.S. economy grew at an annual rate of 2% in the second quarter, dropping from the 3% growth seen over the past year. Consumer spending and business investment rose at slower rates than estimated, but there were stronger gains in exports and government spending.
President Trump has said the economy is at its best ever, and his re-election campaign is counting on drastic growth, but it has slowed significantly since the introduction of his tax cut program last year. The income gap in the United States is once again on the rise, growing to its highest level in 50 years. This increase comes as 2 Democratic presidential candidates, Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, are proposing a wealth tax on the richest Americans to try and decrease the wealth gap.
While income inequality increased, median household income nationwide also increased to almost $62,000.
And the latest from the United Kingdom, Parliament is back in session, and lawmakers are looking for ways to avoid a no-deal Brexit on the October 31st deadline. If a deal is not agreed upon before the deadline, Prime Minister Boris Johnson will have to go to the EU to ask for an extension.
If the EU grants the extension, British lawmakers will have more time to deliberate, which could open the possibility of a general election later this year. Analysts believe Johnson will be looking to secure a heavy majority of Conservatives to secure a deal with the EU.
Former French President Jacques Chirac has died today at the age of 86. Chirac is known for being France's first leader to openly acknowledge and condemn France's role in the Holocaust during World War II.
Chirac also opposed the United States' decision to invade Iraq in 2003. Current French President Emmanuel Macron is planning to speak next Wednesday in the former leader's honor.
And staying in France, over 200 firefighters put out a massive fire at a chemical factory that broke out last night and raged throughout the morning in the province of Normandy.
According to Reuters, there were no reported victims. However, schools and nurseries in surrounding towns were closed today. Police are warning residents in the area to stay indoors, and witnesses report a strong smell that is causing respiratory issues and nausea.
In Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu began his search for members to form a coalition government. Neither Netanyahu nor his opponent, former Army Chief Benny Gantz, were able to win a majority of seats in the recent election.
Talks to form a unity government with split rule between the two parties fell apart yesterday. If Netanyahu can't successfully get a coalition together, it's likely Gantz will be given the opportunity.
And when we come back, weather anchor Anthony Dabbundo has a full look at your forecast for tomorrow, the weekend, and beyond.
And we now know who will be performing at this year's Super Bowl halftime show. Stay with us.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown, and feel technique. After the first drown, a good stir. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Wait, why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where did cats go on vacation? New York.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
As weird as yesterday's weather was, tomorrow is going to be absolutely beautiful. It might be a little chilly in the morning as we get into your Friday planner. 51 around 7 a.m. So if you're heading to class in the morning, perhaps bring a coat. But as you get into the afternoon, you're heading out of class, getting ready to enjoy the rest of your Friday. 68 by 12 noon and 72 degrees and nothing but sunshine by 4 p.m. Might want to pack a coat in the morning, but by the afternoon, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. As we take a look at our surface wind map, it's not going to be very windy either. Not a whole lot going on in the atmosphere. If you take a look down here, you can see Hurricane Kate spinning out towards Bermuda. But right now, not a whole lot going on at all. High pressure building in, and that makes for an absolutely beautiful weekend of weather. Now, as we take a look at our Friday activity forecast, it is 10 degrees warmer than average tomorrow and much lower humidity. So before fall arrives next weekend, I would get prepared to get outside and enjoy the rest of this weekend, because on Saturday, as we get into our 5-day forecast, 72 degrees and sunny. Tomorrow, 80. There could be a potential afternoon shower at the conclusion of the football game around 3 or 4 o'clock. Potentially prepare for that, but it's going to be 80 degrees and warm. And then as we get into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, again, 73 and partly cloudy on Sunday, 71, mostly sunny. Might see a few clouds start to mix in on Monday. The lows are starting to get a little bit lower as we see mid-50s breaking in, and we might even start to see the 40s by the end of next week overnight. But as for now, I mean, it looks absolutely beautiful. 79 on Tuesday and nothing but sun. So the next 5 days before we head into a cooler period as the month turns from B month of September into October, you can expect to see cooler temperatures. But for now, get out and enjoy it. Back to you guys.
Anthony, I'm certainly planning on enjoying it. Thank you. The NFL has announced this season's Super Bowl halftime performers. Jennifer Lopez and Shakira are set to perform at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami for Super Bowl 54.
The announcement was made over Twitter today in a series of tweets from Lopez, Shakira, and halftime sponsor Pepsi. Other performers are expected to be added before the big game.
Coming up in sports, Syracuse football has a date with Holy Cross on Saturday. The Crusaders are just an FCS team, but the Orange shouldn't look past them just yet. Find out why when we come back. Hi, Ricky. Can you hear me now?
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Syracuse football wraps up 2019's non-conference slate with a game against Holy Cross on Saturday. Good evening, I'm Brandon Ross. The Crusaders don't look that intimidating on paper. They're an FCS team with a 1-2 record. Heck, they haven't even beaten an FBS opponent since 2002. But if this year in college football has told us anything, it's that no one should look past the heavy underdog. There are already 3 FCS teams with FBS wins in 2019, so SU head coach Dino Babers is not trying to get caught looking ahead.
We're playing a very good Holy Cross team. Coach Chesney's in his second year. He's done a really nice job, and those guys are getting better. Hopefully, it'll be an opportunity where we can continue to have the success that we started last week.
Saturday is the first meeting between Syracuse and Holy Cross since 1973. The Orange won that one 5-3 after forcing a safety in the fourth quarter. Kickoff in the Dome this weekend is scheduled for noon. Staying in Syracuse, the women's soccer team will have to wait a little longer to play Louisville. Tonight's scheduled game was postponed after multiple Cardinals players fell ill. But don't worry, the show will go on. The game will be played at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. The Orange look to come away with a landmark ACC win against the 22nd ranked Cards. SU has not won a conference game since a 1-0 victory over Miami in October 2017. And Syracuse men's basketball is looking for its first ACC crown this season, but SU won't have to worry about a tournament battle with Georgia Tech. The NCAA has banned the Yellow Jackets from the 2020 postseason. Georgia Tech reportedly had 2 boosters providing impermissible benefits to the program. The team will also be placed on probation for 4 years and lose 1 scholarship for each of those seasons. And in baseball, the Mets are squaring off against the Marlins tonight. New York is officially out of postseason contention, but history may still be made. Rookie Pete Alonso has 51 homers on the season after last night, and the slugger needs just 1 more to tie the rookie long ball record held by his Big Apple counterpart Aaron Judge. First pitch in Flushing is set for 7:10. And over on the gridiron, the Packers are facing the Eagles tonight on Thursday Night Football. The Pack looks to stay undefeated with a big win at home. Meanwhile, the Eagles hope they can fight through a laundry list of injuries to move back to 500. Philly wideout Deshaun Jackson is out for tonight's game, but Alshon Jeffrey is expected to be back on the field. Kickoff at Lambeau is at 8:20.
Now, Brandon, you mentioned that unfortunate postponement of the Syracuse women's soccer game tonight. But as you said, that game will be on tomorrow morning. Do they have a hope of winning?
It should be interesting, especially since they are a very injured team. Women's soccer only has 15 healthy players. On the Louisville side, if some of those players are still sick, that could really play a factor and help out the Orange against a ranked team.
Of course, you hate to see it, but hopefully they can pull off the win. Brandon, thank you. Up next, we'll have one last look at your forecast for the days ahead. Don't go away.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back
in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
We're joined now by our weather anchor, Anthony Dabbundo. Now, Anthony, like you said, we kind of experienced every single season today, but I'm really excited for sweater weather. When is that going to come around?
You might actually need a sweater or a sweatshirt or something in the morning. Low temperatures overnight could dip into the low 50s, and when you wake up around 7, 8 a.m., if you get up that early, it could be around 55, 56, so a little chilly. But certainly, looking at some of the long-range forecasts, next weekend is when we finally start to see some fall weather. We might see some highs in the low 50s instead of some lows, with some overnight lows dipping into the 40s. So it's going to get a lot colder, and it's been a pretty remarkable run. This entire month, we've been above average almost every single day, which is unheard of for Syracuse.
Now, for this weekend's football matchup, what can people expect weather-wise going to the game?
Yeah, it's going to be another beautiful tailgate, it looks like. So Saturday morning, I was out last weekend Saturday, and it was perfect. I was even sweating during the tailgate in mid-September, which is unusual. Next week, on Saturday, 80 degrees around kickoff. You might want to bring a jacket because it's going to cool off, and it's going to be rainy in the afternoon with a potential shower. And as we take a look at our 5-day forecast, Friday, tomorrow's weather, 72 and sunny, absolutely beautiful. Like I said about Saturday's game day against Holy Cross, I know Brandon's very excited for the game against the Crusaders. It's going to be 80 around game time kickoff, but as we get into the afternoon, there's a chance for some thunderstorms as a cold front moves through. You can see 56 is the overnight low on Saturday, and then of course 3 absolutely beautiful days. Fall is hanging around, summer is hanging around, and fall is right around the corner. So as we get into the weekend, you can start to see much cooler temperatures.
Anthony, thank you. Now, it's also a beautiful day today, but for a different reason, because it's National Pancake Day. It may be a little late, but I've always believed in breakfast for dinner. Celebrate the day by mixing up your favorite pancake batter and firing up the griddle. You can get 15% off breakfast orders at IHOP to celebrate your love for pancakes. And Gabrielle, maybe not IHOP, what is your favorite place to get pancakes?
I actually prefer homemade pancakes. I just don't think anything beats a good homemade pancakes. Maybe add some M&Ms or chocolate chips to it. Perfect for any meal.
You know, the women's soccer game was actually going to have a promotion where they gave out free pancakes to some of the first people who got through the gate. So I'm a little upset. I was looking forward to maybe going and getting some free pancakes and enjoying some soccer, but I guess not.
Any word if they'll honor that tomorrow morning?
I don't know. I'll have to investigate that.
It would be a better time for it. Now, I have to kind of be the boogeyman here because I'm not the biggest pancake fan.
Are you a waffle man?
Let me just say.
I'm neither.
Neither.
Really?
But
that's
so
almost
what do you
more
like
criminal.
for breakfast?
I don't know, other stuff.
If you're ever in Royersford, Pennsylvania, it's a little town outside of Philadelphia. Anna Marie's, the best pancakes I've ever had. The pancake is as big as this plate, and they're unbelievably cheap. So if you're ever in Pennsylvania, Anna Marie's.
I may not be the biggest fan, but I'll be sure to check it out. That's all the time we have for Citrus TV News. Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook at Citrus TV News. From all of us here, I'm Conor Wight.
And I'm Gabrielle Caracciolo. Have a good night.